Oh, how good a football player you were. I can still see you playing that fullback, knocking those players out of the way. And that, I believe I could have run behind you. Martin, I can remember when we played the summer and you were playing fullback up there. And I saw you in the weight room and watched you work out in the weight room. And you could pick up, you saw us the whole. I wanted to fix it, and I learned that fix it back. Biggest mistake we ever made.
The Martin Houston Show with national championship winning fullback Martin Houston, giving you 1 hour of intense, hard-hitting analysis from an insider's perspective. It's time for the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports, Tide 100.9, and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Good morning. Welcome into the Martin Houston Show on Tide 100.9 on your radio dial. The Martin Houston Show fan page on Martin Houston Live on Facebook and YouTube at Martin Houston 35 on Twitter. It is a beautiful Monday morning, and we're glad to be back with you following the weekend. We'll be breaking it down, but before we get into the game and the conversation around Alabama's 31-29 victory over the Florida Gators, I want to remind you that this is a day that the Lord has made, so let's rejoice and be glad in it. Take some time today to notice someone, love someone, serve someone, be the difference you want to see in the world today. Good morning out there in football land. Want to hear from you, the good, the bad, the ugly, from the Alabama Crimson Tide. Players of the game, key moments in the game, happy, sad, disappointed, glad. What are you feeling this morning about your Alabama Crimson Tide as they took down the Florida Gators 31-29? How you feeling about your Alabama Crimson Tide on today? Got a lot of reaction that I got from the weekend. It was interesting to see what the thoughts were from the weekend. So I want to hear from you as we get things going. Want to congratulate CJ Watson on winning the score prediction contest. And we will kick things off once again with the opportunity for you to get in on score prediction with a Southern Miss. Southern Miss coming up next for the Alabama Crimson Tide. So once again, congratulations to CJ Watson. His total was 61 points, and Alabama, of course, giving up more points than any of us expected, but he got within 1 point of the total score, so he was 1 point over and 380 yards for the Florida Gators. So congratulations. If you want to get in on this week's contest, once again, Southern Miss, and we will have Bryce Young's passing yards as the tiebreaker. So we'd like to get you in on that. You can get in on the conversation to talk about that, the score from last week, what you have for this week, how you feeling about the Crimson Tide. 205-342-9904, 205-342-9904. We can talk about the Alabama Crimson Tide game. We can talk about around the SEC. We can talk about around the country. It's really, really good to be a Bama fan. I'm going to go ahead and throw this out here. I thought Alabama won, and I thought Auburn lost as I watched the games with my eyes. But when I watched the reaction of the fan base, you would think that Alabama lost and Auburn won. So I throw on my crimson-colored glasses, put them on, and go, wow, it must be really nice to be a Bama fan when you can go into the swamp, get a victory, and your team feel like you lost. Your fan base feel like you lost. The other team can go up and get beat, and their fan base is celebrating about their future. So don't forget who you cheer for if you're an Alabama fan But I still want to hear your thoughts, comments, and breakdowns of this weekend. So let's go to the phone lines. Robert from Mobile, you're in with the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, sir?
Hey, man.
Hey, now.
Well, because of what, we all celebrate an Alabama fans. Because of what they are here. If the game had gone down the way, Penn State and Auburn and Penn State went down, we'd have more, felt better about it. Hey, that's a hostile environment. The defense wasn't allowed us to get gashed to death. And we weren't, up big and lost the lead because we lost our intensity.
Yeah.
The slugfest to the end, and we pulled it out. No Alabama fan with a brain cell that's functioning properly would be upset with that win. That's because that's a hostile environment, and it was a back and forth either way. And both teams, but what we saw was our trouble. It's we're up big, but and then once again the ghost of the defense past from last year sneaks its way back in again, where hey, we can't stop anything these people are doing in the run. You're just running straight up the middle on us, and we can't stop this. You're just passing the ball straight up the middle, and we can't stop this. And there's no adjustments that were made during the game.
Hey, let me ask you a question. When they have the ball down at the 1 yard line, it's third down. Was that coaching or players not doing their job?
Yeah.
Did the
player
okay? Yeah, I mean, he was gonna try to make a pick. It looks like instead of just making the tackle, and he took a bad angle.
On the other side of the ball, it was like, dude, really?
Yeah, but how different is that game right there? Literally, the announcers do what?
It flips on a dime.
Yep, and even when Gary Danielson says Alabama needs to get a stop right here and put the game away, as anti-Alabama as he is, even though we had playback, that one play, that if he just makes the tackle, it's a different game. As bad as we played at other times, I was like, what is he doing? And then he made another bonehead play in that same drive. But go ahead.
Yeah, and that one play, it should have just allowed them to not pin them deep. It's still like you still got about 80 more yards to go after that. Okay, we didn't pin you as deep as we should have. That still shouldn't be a touchdown drive that you're on. And that's what drove us crazy. Like, but you guys can beat up the middle. we can push around up the middle. While our offensive line, we couldn't run on them. They could just push us around, able to get oppose them and run all over us. That's what was so frustrated with that we were watching. Our run game can't get off the dime, can't do anything except for Brian Robinson. Thank you for coming back, Mr. Robinson. and their offensive line, we're getting pushed around, pushed back 5 yards here, 7 yards there. Every play. And then there was no play. You said the 3rd and 19. Pass across the middle. The middle's wide open.
Yeah.
Okay, after a while, Goldie, it's time to make adjustments for that.
Yeah.
And they do the same thing over and over again. And okay, it's time to adjust for that. And he gets into this, the adjustment should never seem to come.
Yeah.
And Florida's not an elite offense. That's what's really scary. They're not an elite offense. Okay, the elite offense. Yeah, last year you two elite offenses did that to us. This year, now the defense is back to, we're hoping we're coming in with a good defense. And not a good enough defense like we had last year, a good defense. Now it's back to just being good enough again. Okay. And good enough depends on your offense.
Hey, you got. I got another call. I know is going to jump right on the bandwagon with you. So, you got anything else for me so I can get to him?
One more thing.
Go ahead.
USF on this. This should be the worst weekend you ever picked to come play Tuscaloosa. We have to get 300 yards rushing in this game.
Yeah.
We have to beat this team by 50 points.
Hey, listen, I'm gonna tell you. I think I figured out why Bama's run game may not be as effective. We've talked about the impact of the new way of playing college football impacts the defense, but we've not talked about the way it impacts offense. And you stay tuned for the rest of the show, and I'll let you know why I think our run game has been what it's been at different points and different times.
All right, man.
All right, man. Be good. All right, let's go. Thanks. That's Robert from Mobile. Let's go to Curtis. Curtis, you in with the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, sir?
Hey, Martin, as usual, I'm disgusted.
Hey, listen, I forgot to set it up. Let me see what I wrote down this week. I tell you, as I was putting my topics down, I said Golding hate revived.
Oh yeah, big time. Yeah, big time. Because it doesn't make no sense. I mean, the first year that defense was out there and it didn't do anything, we said, oh, Charles Support can't call the defense. He can't call the defense. We find out he was going to call the defense. All right, so we give him a pass. Second year, we get out there. Oh, we can't blame him for this. His linebackers are hurt. He ain't got no linebacker. He the one who was training the middle linebacker, but still, we gave him a pass again. Third year, he gets out there. Oh, well, Dylan Moses got himself. Well, Dylan Moses wasn't anybody at that point in time, but you had other guys on the sideline. You had Moody over there. Both Dylan put the Moody in, but no, that didn't help. And then we get in this year. Now we got another reason. What are we going to use for a reason for Golden this year? I mean, are we going to use COVID, or are we going to use he can't see, or he got a bad leg, or what are we going to use for Golden? His beard tickling his eyeballs. We got to use something. We got to come with something underlined now for Golden, other than the fact that he's just an NFBC.
Yeah, let me ask you this: is 29 points enough for, or it would have been 30 had they not had they made their 31 if they had made their extra points. Now, is 31 a bad game for our defense, or is it just the fact that we played Florida and we weren't expecting Florida to have that type of offense, that type of success offensively?
We definitely expect Florida to have that type of success, especially with a quarterback who wasn't supposed to be able to throw the ball a whole lot. They already threw 4 interceptions. And so you knew what they were going to do. You already heard that, oh, they got great runners. You know, you can ran on by the Sisters of the Poor. But evidently, we part of the Sisters of the Poor. So it doesn't make it. You're going into this game as if you're defending Florida from last year, but that's not the team that just sat there and ran the ball down your throat. Right down the gut. Right over, you know who, DJ Fluffy and Fidarian Mathis in that middle could not hold themselves at all in those gaps. Couldn't hold any gaps. And then, of course, Drew Sanders, he's like a turnstile at the airport. They just going around his corner like he's just standing still, which he was standing still. But he shouldn't have been standing still. But they're going around him like water. And our favorite tackle on the right side, Owens, they're going around him, patting him on the helmet like, good job. Florida's telling you good job, not Bama.
Yeah,
he just let them go in there and kill Bryce, and of course Bryce done all he could, but there was at one point there was nothing between Bryce and the goal line, nothing between him and the goal line, and he still sits there and tries to make that pass to Latu over in the corner.
Yeah, and
talk about it wrong.
Well, did you see what the fullback / tight end? Did you see what he did? He actually shielded the guy. He turned like he was turning to catch it, but he wasn't really expecting him to catch on that run. And I had that as a note. Bryce has to run the ball more because if he does that, then that's going to lead to more of those plays like he got on that first touchdown pass. The reason that guy came off of matching that first game because we've heard that Bryce is a threat to run, correct? But he's proven since that point that he's not really going to run it.
Yeah,
right.
You know,
so.
That's right. So they're not going to come up on Bryce. No, he ain't going to touch that ball and go. They're not just sit there and stay in coverage.
All right. Hey, listen, Curtis Lewis, Curtis Moore, the second was at the game, and he had 2 comments for you, and I'll let you respond before we go. He said, folks, and this wasn't just to you. He said, "Folks, act like the Florida team was easy. Yes, we didn't play our best. I admit it, but that stadium was loud and electric. I'm just glad we got out of the swamp with a victory." And then didn't it specifically asking you a question, Curtis Lewis? So it's Pete Golding's fault that the defense was huffing and puffing, tired on the field. I saw it with my own eyes at the game. I can't put it 100% all on Pete Golding. So that was a question for you, sir.
Yeah. It's still Pete Golding's fault that the defense huffing and puffing because you can't get off the field on third down. Why are you huffing and puffing? Because you're still out there.
Okay.
You got players. You got enough players in your 2 deep, let alone your 3 deep, 5 stars back further as the eye can see. Platoon them in and out. You've had 2 lackluster games already to get these kids ready. They can get experience. This is 3rd game. You could have gotten experience by now. Not to mention you've been a DC now for this your 4th year. You got Moody back there who could have substituted in. You got guys all over the field who could have came back in. And I don't know why we're not playing Boydby and Young more instead of putting Fluffy and Valeria Mathis out there on defensive tackles. You could have put 2 of them guys in.
I don't understand why Young is not starter. I mean, that guy 4'7" seems to be a beast. I mean, but doesn't play as much as I would like to see him play, and I don't know why, and I'll just kind of go from there. So you got him.
That goes back to coaching. You're not putting the right players. You're not tuning your players in and out like you should be. You got your personnel package stuff. And then the fact that your scheme has got to be the most pathetic scheme out of everything. You got a kid back who's not going to beat you with his own. But yeah, we still in a 2 deep shell. What in the world are we still in a 2 deep shell for? Don't get that blame boy in the backfield and make him get rid of that power. He's got a pocket so clean, it's like it's made out of that blame linen.
You got anything else for me, C?
Nothing that's clean. So now.
Well, call back later on in the week. I'm going to talk about our run game on the offense. I think I was talking to the head coach at Northridge, and him and I talked about something that it really makes Alabama good, but it also hurts Alabama in the run game. And I'll talk about that on the other side. But appreciate you calling back. Comment as much as you want. Call back when you want. Appreciate you, man. Have a good one.
All right, you do, Martin. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, sir. All right. Well, we've heard from Curtis and we've heard from Robert. We'd like to hear from you, 205-342-9904. Got some comments from Curtis Moore II, CJ Watson, Virgil Williams on chat. We'll get those worked into the conversation. You're listening to the Martin Houston Show on Tide 100.9, and we'll be back. And thanks to our great sponsors like Overflow Express Wash, who make this show possible each and every day. OverflowExpressWash.com is where you can find them online. Great package deals, and you can start with a basic wash as low as $7 at their Tuscaloosa and Northport locations. Go check them out. That's Overflow Express Wash, OverflowExpressWash.com.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, we start our Monday with rain over the Tuscaloosa area, so we have limited visibility. Just slow down and be careful. No wrecks, traffic light. If you see conditions, just give us a call. Townsend Nissan is taking care of business with low finance rates, extra rebates, and they really need your trade. Go see them. I'm Captain Ray.
Indeed helps you hire great people fast. Indeed delivers 4 times more hires than all other job sites combined, according to Talent Nest. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
If you're in HR, you're probably wearing a lot of hats. Recruiter, team builder, trainer, mediator, policymaker, and of course, paper pusher. But not anymore. Bamboo HR is the #1 HR software for small and medium businesses. It manages all your employee data easily and automates countless tasks, so you can focus on people, not paperwork. Bamboo HR frees you from spreadsheets, so you can do your real job, creating a great place to work. If the data shuffle and paperwork mountain have you ready to hang up all your hats, you're ready for Bamboo. If you handle HR records and paperwork, Bamboo HR is a dream. Let us free up your time and put your days of pushing paperwork behind you, so you can focus on the people and making your company a great place to work for everyone. Try PC Magazine's top pick for HR software free today. Just go to bamboohr.com.
And I'm so excited to join the boys this season.
I'll put it on social media so everyone knows. Now get ready to hear the locks pouring in. Darn, the internet must be broken again.
I'll just give it a try on mine, just in case. Huh. Guess they fixed the internet.
The new season of The Voice with Ariana Grande premieres tonight on NBC.
Okay, now you're just rubbing it in.
Ask big. Have you seen our artisan created diamonds? If you've been in a room with one, you can't miss it. Tom Osmond from Fincher and Osmond. It's a diamond like I've never seen. And he's seen a lot of diamonds. Ask big. At Fincher and Osmond, you can put artisan created diamonds side by side with mined diamonds. When you see it, more importantly, when she sees it, FincherandOsmond.com. McFarland Boulevard between Edgar's and Local Roots.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Mostly cloudy weather continues today and tonight with occasional showers, maybe a thunderstorm in spots. The high today 79, tonight's low 71. Tomorrow mostly cloudy and very humid with scattered to numerous showers and thunderstorms during the day. The high at 80. I'm James Spann of the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 75 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Scott Smith and Sophomart Design, doing business for 17 plus years, specializing in graphic design services, commercial printing, promotional products, advertising specialties, and so much more. Basically, any and everything you would need to advertise, promote, and grow your business. Through strong partnerships, strong customer service, and creative ideas, they'll help you market and grow your business. Give Scott a call at 205-292-4680 or email scottis@comcast.net and visit them online at softmartdesign.com.
Interact with the Martin Houston Show by calling us at 205-342-9904. Tuning into the Martin Houston Show on Facebook.
What concerned me most was that we could not sustain our intensity, especially on defense. We had a lot of mental errors, and they did a good job. They did a really good job, had a good plan. And, you know, when you're playing the option, and, you know, everybody's got to be disciplined. Somebody's got the quarterback, somebody's got the pitch. And because we weren't doing that correctly, I think we were afraid to do a lot of other things that we had planned in the game. But we didn't get off the field on third down either. We had several opportunities, especially in the fourth quarter, to get off the field on third down where we created long yardage situations. When they went 99 yards for a touchdown, we got them backed up on the 1 yard line. We got them third down. We got to get off the field. Another situation where it was 3rd and 18, they complete a pass for 16 yards and go for it on 4th down and convert. So got to get off the field on third down. So all in all, it was just our execution on defense and the fact that we didn't get up off the field on third down.
All right. That's Coach Nick Saban talking about concerns. He said intensity, players, mental error, players, discipline, players. So, Joe, is that Pete Golding or is that the players?
I've never seen Pete Golding make a tackle. And play one-on-one and play physically. I've never seen Pete Golding, go into a wrong gap or take a quarterback when he should have taken a running back or string out an option when he should have taken it on. Martin, the total disrespect for the other team, for the opponent. Florida walked into the game as the number 1 rushing offense in the country, right? That is how they walked into the game. We know that Dan Mullen is an offensive genius who has used multiple schemes over the course of his college career to adapt and fit in with college quarterbacks, to mask the deficiencies of his college quarterbacks that he's had and to maximize the efficiencies of their offense. I mean, I understand you don't want to get the ball run down your throat. I get that. Nobody does. But the lack of respect for the other team is just baffling. The lack of respect for, we are playing in the SEC. Didn't we all talk all week long about how we're going into a tough environment? Oh, we're going to have to be ready for a loud environment. And then we're going to be all, surprised and upset when mental errors happen and pre-snap penalties derail the offense. I mean, this is all stuff we talked about last week, and what the team did, going down, getting up, surviving a big gut punch, hanging on in the end. That's just that's part of the development of a young team. Part of the development we're not playing with Najee Harris and Mac Jones and Devontae Smith and all these senior laden guys. We all talked about it all year that we're coming in with only 3 returning starters on the offense. It's just part of the development of a young team. The game was awesome. The game was great. It was really really fun and really entertaining to watch. Schematically speaking, from the two coaching staffs going up against each other, trying to use what they had to go up against each other. It was great. It was awesome.
So I laugh a little bit because you hit one of the notes I asked. How much of this was Florida being better than we thought, and us not being as good as we thought after one game? How much was a reality of a reality check for Alabama fans? I still think we're the best team in the country, but also think that as I'm watching college football, Joe, something that you and I have talked about, if we're not careful. There's parity happening in college football, I think. I mean, because when you really look at the top 10, who's blowing anybody out? Who's the runaway team this year? No one, really. I mean, there's something. Either other teams are better or the teams that's been great aren't as far ahead. So how much of that was Florida and Mullins used to give Alabama fits with Nick Saban when he was at Mississippi State, right? He played us close. So you would assume with more talent that he would do the same thing at Florida. So I'm not making excuses for Pete Golding, and I'm not making excuses for our defense. First of all, I've said this numerous times, and I'm gonna get to you, Tom. I've said this numerous times, Joe. How many times have we said when we play the teams that run these options, these FCS schools or small D1 schools, that they make the games interesting? Right? All the time. So take that and put that on the Florida, and they made it even more interesting. I think people miss what Nick Saban said. He said we had intensity, lack of intensity, mental errors, and discipline. And Curtis said it earlier. He said we never changed schemes. Well, what did Nick Saban say? We couldn't change schemes because we didn't have down what we were supposed to be doing in what we were trying to do. I mean, I think that's what he was trying to communicate. He said we couldn't change to anything else. I don't know why. I don't know if he was afraid. I don't know. But let's get to Tom. And there's so much that we have to get to. But let's get to Tom. Tom, you're in with the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, sir?
Hey, Martin, what's up?
What's up, man?
How are you?
Good, good.
I want to piggyback on something Joe said and what you are saying. And that is, my hat's off to Emory Jones. What a great performance from somebody that we didn't give credit for being quarterback, but he comes out there, he prepares himself all week, he works hard all week, he comes out there, he makes some very intelligent decisions with the ball. They were down 21-0, and they got up off the mat. They showed a lot of guts, and they got up off the mat. Dan Mullen had a great scheme for Alabama. Yeah, he's been watching those FCS schools. He's been watching whoever had success against our defense, and he incorporated that in there. He watched Lane Kiffin last year. I saw some of Ole Miss's offense in.
You talking about the pass to the tight end?
Yeah, exactly. And
we still hadn't stopped it.
My hat off to a worthy opponent that came out there and gave it all they've got. You have to respect that. When you say, "Oh, we ain't this, we ain't that," you're disrespecting those kids who worked their tail off and got themselves in position to possibly be the number one team in the nation. but didn't, thank the Lord.
Tom, and that's the thing is as I sit here today, and yeah, oh man, if you're an Alabama fan, you can't be happy with what happened Saturday. I mean, satisfied because you know that a team with a better offense and an equal defense, and you could potentially lose. The difference is we're 3 games into an offense that doesn't know how to maintain its intensity. I mean, that team came out so. Remember, I said last week, Tom. I said, man, that offense. I mean, going into a hostile environment will have our offense more focused, right? I said that last week because they have to be on point. Well, they were, and then when they got up 21-3, they lost their focus and 3 and outs. First time in like 8 years we've had 3 consecutive 3 and outs. Period. And so they lost their intensity. If the offense, now here's the thing, we said that we were going to be a defensive led team. I'm not sure that that's going to ever be the case ever again. It may be our offense that wins it.
Yeah, well, Florida did us 3 and out, so we can look at that and go, hey, if they do it, we do it. But here's the thing. My hat's off to the fine young football players on both sides. My hat's off to Bryce Young. What a talent. I'm disappointed in this. We had 3 drops, and they were all on those 3 the drives we were talking about that stopped with 3 and out. Now, the ball was thrown to where it was been tough to catch it. It was contested, just like everything in that game. Everything in that game, Florida contested. They contested our passes. Our wide receivers didn't. I call it a drop. But what it was, it went in there, and our wide receiver could have caught it, but he didn't.
Yeah.
And it was a great defensive play. I got to give them that. It was a good defensive play. But that hurt. Those kind of things hurt you when you're trying to. I kind of felt like we were fixing to start running plays to ice the game, and that backfired on us.
Yeah. Well, we lost our intensity. We gained it back. Got enough to get down there. There are some things that Bryce can do better. But I wouldn't trade him for anybody in the country. There's some things that we can do better offensively, and we're going to talk about those. Thanks, Tom. You got anything else for him before I let you go?
No, I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Coming back on the other side, want to encourage you to keep getting in on the conversation. Bishop, hold through the break. We'll get you on the other side. The phone lines are open, 205-342-9904. The Taco Casa hotline open for business. Taco Casa, quality, taste, value on the biggest cactus in town. Your best choice for lunch and or dinner. More conversation regarding Alabama, Florida coming back on the other side.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, we start our Monday with rain over the Tuscaloosa area, so we have limited visibility. Just slow down and be careful. No wrecks, traffic light. If you see conditions, just give us a call. Townsend Nissan is taking care of business with low finance rates, extra rebates, and they really need your trade. Go see them. I'm Captain Ray.
Hello, this is Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show, and I want to tell you about one of our great sponsors, Overflow Express Wash. Their mission is to provide great customer service with a showroom clean car and an exceptional customer service experience. They have the basic car wash that starts at $7, but you need to check out the premium wash packages, which start as low as $12 and go up to $20. They also have a membership wash club that you can get for starting at $23.99, going up to $39.99. In other words, just double the regular premium package, drop a penny, and you can be one of the great members of Overflow Express Wash. My family and I keep our cars looking good inside and out by using Overflow Express Wash. They're located on Skyland Boulevard right next door to Alabama 1, or you can find them online at overflowexpresswash.com. Andy Phillips and his team look forward to making you a part of their team.
In the custody event of a lifetime, come experience the dynamic energy of one of the most accomplished musicians of our time, Carlos Santana. Blessings and Miracles Tour 2021. This Friday, Tuscaloosa Amphitheater. Take a trip through the hits from Woodstock to Supernatural and a backwards flip into the unknown. Reserve seat tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Part of the Coca-Cola Concert Series, produced by Red Mountain Entertainment.
Want to learn a new language so it will actually stick? Try Babbel. Practice real-life conversations in the Babbel app.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas?
Get personalized help in Babbel's live online classes.
Classes are limited to 6 people, so everyone can get the help they need.
Review words and phrases with fun games, or dive into the culture with short videos. Whatever your learning style, Babbel gives you the tools you need. Babbel, more ways to learn. Start learning a new language today at Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Nick Saban calls it the process. John Maxwell said that everything rises and falls on it. And Coach Wooden said it's what you learn after you think you know it all that makes the difference. What am I talking about? Leadership and personal development. Is your organization, your school, your church, your family, are they receiving the proper level of leadership development and personal development? If not, the Empowerment Center for Leadership and Mentoring can help you with that. We have our pep talks, which is a 1 to 1.5 hour lunch and learn, which we can customize to meet your needs, or we have some topics that we present that we know can help your organization. And if you're looking for one-on-one mentoring and coaching, we can also assist you with that. Visit peptalks35.com. That's peptalks35.com, or send an email to martin@martinhouston.org. That's the Empowerment Center for Leadership and Mentoring.
Welcome back to the Martin Houston Show, the sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team, on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Yeah, I think that the players should gain some respect for winning and what it takes to win. I think resiliency, overcoming adversity, we had to do that today. And I think that if you're going to win games against really good teams, you certainly need to know how to do that. You know, I talked about collective character, of our team, which is all about discipline. It's all about resiliency. It's all about mental and physical toughness to, hang in there and persevere in difficult times. And I thought our players did a pretty good job of that.
That's Coach Nick Saban talking about respect for winning, gaining respect for winning. Alabama is a better football team for winning Saturday. Remember early on last year, we had the Ole Miss game, and if you had watched the Ole Miss game, you would have thought there's no way this team goes on to win a national title. Maybe we got that in a different way on Saturday against the Florida Gators, and it will pay huge dividends for this young team with so much inexperience, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Will it pay dividends down the road? I'm willing to bet yes. We are able to have these conversations and our gripes and complaints and issues and concerns off of a win. There's a lot of teams that would trade with the Crimson Tide. We'll see what happens. Bishop, you're in with the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, sir?
Good morning, Bishop Houston. How are you?
All right. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. I'm calling from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Okay. Welcome in, man. First time caller?
Yes, sir. First time caller, but I listen to you all the time.
Thank you, sir.
My concern, Morgan, I want to use this as an analogy. Have you ever got into the flow of the intensity of your church and just stayed where you was because the intensity and the reception of your people, so you just stayed there?
Yeah, I have. I can say that sometimes that you get in that flow and it just, and it keeps coming.
Well, I'm a pastor too, so I've done the same thing. My issue was in the second quarter, the offensive play calling, I believe, changed the intensity of the game. Are you with me?
Yep.
Rather than blaming Pete Golden, we need to blame Bill O'Brien for calling those passing plays rather than doing what you were doing that was working.
Hey, and here's
the short passes in the flat to the running back.
Watch this. Here's what, and this is something, Bishop, I talked about earlier, and I hadn't fleshed it out yet. is I was talking to my head coach over at Northridge, and I was talking about our running game, and he said it's the RPO game. Okay, like on Friday nights, sometimes I've asked the coach. I said, can we just take the RPO off of the call and just call I say call a lock and just make sure they give it to the running back while the running backs are flowing. And so in this new age of football, okay, the quarterback, the RPO is a run pass option, right? How many times did Bill O'Brien actually maybe call a run play, and the quarterback, when you see Bryce throw that thing out there with that sidearm, that's usually an RPO. Two things happen then. Not only is it a pass play when probably a run would have been better, to your point about doing what was working, because we were having some success running the ball. B-Rob ran that ball hard up front. All the people that were on B-Rob need to jump off the ship and off his back. Number two is the and then you take that next thing when you run an RPO, guess what the offensive linemen have to do? Bishop, they have to make sure they don't go downfield. And when they don't go downfield, it's hard to drive block on run plays. Alabama will never, ever be a dominant run team again as long as we have the types of quarterbacks we've had since Tua, Mac, and the RPO game, you have to have an extremely elite guy like Najee Harris. But I guarantee you last year, they call run plays to Najee Harris. This year, they're doing more RPO, which slows the offensive line down, right? Because if the offensive lineman drive block and they get 3 yards downfield, it's a penalty if Bryce decides to pull it. So they have to run block, but under control. And, man, that is hard. So I toss it back to you, Bishop. You're nailing it.
Yes, sir. Well, I agree with you. You and I, we have a lot in common. So I wish they would take the RPO and start running the ball with these backs, because we got 4 great backs. These backs are good, and we got to watch and make sure we don't lose them. Don't lose Trey Sanders. Lose him mentally.
Did you see him on the sideline? Did you see the image when they showed him on the sideline?
Yes, sir.
And
I'm praying for Jameson Williams, because I ain't gonna tell you. You'll get it.
Yeah. Well, hey, man,
Yes, sir. Okay, thank you for accepting my call.
Oh, thank you, Bishop. Call back anytime from Baton Rouge right there in Louisiana. Hey, Joe, he just nailed it. All right, thanks, Bishop.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Joe, I'm telling you, that flipped the script. And I'm telling you, the RPO game is impacting. And you may say, well, the other teams are running the ball. I don't know if anybody in the country, Joe, runs RPOs as much as we do.
I'm with you. That's a big part of the game right there. That I feel like Bill O'Brien got out of his game, got away from his original game plan, and that's something we saw him do with the Houston Texans.
Yes.
And that's a lot of things that cost them. He kind of goes into a different game plan once they've got a big lead.
Yep.
I'm with you completely. And you touched on the RPO game. There was a couple of different times that the overhead, the spider camera showed the gift there to chunk off 5, 6, 7 yards, and Bryce Young had other options. And that's what you get with a young quarterback. A quarterback who's inexperienced and confident in his own abilities, he's going to want to be throwing that ball. You take the run pass, you take the pass option off of the RPO, and you just turn it into a give, and you start hammering at him. Philosophically, I'm with you in 2 areas. Philosophically speaking, on the offense as a whole, and then as how it affected the game. It allowed Florida to dig back into the game. It allowed Florida to really dictate attitude-wise to Alabama for a little bit in the game, and that's what opened the door to get them back in it. I put the blame on Bill O'Brien much more than I do on Pete Golding.
Yeah, and let me make sure, because Virgil said the RPO actually cost Florida the 2-point conversion. Let me explain the difference between RPO and read option. Florida actually was running a read option, and the quarterback and the running back kind of, I don't know what was happening there. The running back wanted the ball, quarterback was going to pull it, and they kind of got caught up in there. That's a read option. RPO is you come up, you look at the numbers, you look at your concept side, one side versus the other. Sometimes it's a pre-read RPO read pass option. Sometimes it's a post-read. Which it doesn't matter which one it is, but you have a run play call and it's tagged with the pass on top of it. And as offensive lineman, you don't know which one he's going to run. Okay. So Alabama probably runs as much RPO as anyone in the country. And therefore, our big offensive linemen have to be careful, Joe, that they don't get a down the field pass interference, because every time you've seen, what's his name, throw that ball sidearm out to the receivers, that's been an RPO. That slant route that he threw slightly behind Mechie that would have been a touchdown was an RPO. You know, that was a run play call, and so that hurts their ability to become devastating runners. You flip it over to Florida, they were running the ball or calling pass plays. So their linemen were lining up and teeing off on us. So that was the difference, and that's going to be hard. That's hard for me, because I want to see dominant offensive drive blocking. I don't know if we'll ever see that, Joe, any more than we used to see Alabama shutting people down to 10, 12 points. We just need to understand that that's the way we play because of the quarterback and the intelligent, athletic, accurate quarterback talent we have. So we just have to adjust offensively to what's working. RPO game makes us great. RPO game also makes us look like sometimes we're not able to drive block on run plays unless we call them, and I don't think we call them a lot without an RPO tag. Let's before we go to break, so we don't make George whole. George, we'll take you on this side. What's on your mind, sir?
Yeah, I just want to make a couple of quick comments. One, like everybody else, I was, disappointed that we lost our intensity in offense, but we are extremely young, and drop passes, and a few mistakes here can really kill you. But on the offensive side that I'm extremely proud of, when we had to have a score in the fourth quarter, we got it done.
Yep.
Also, Bolden, when he dropped that touchdown pass, we didn't stick our heads down and start crying. We went ahead and scored, and that shows me a lot. Our offense was just inexperienced.
Yep.
We're comparing them to last year when we had a Joe Moore type offensive line, Heisman Trophy winner receiver, Johnny Unitas quarterback, center that was Remington, another lineman that was Outland Trophy, and those guys were experienced, and I think we will get there. But to play, I don't know if anybody else has ever gone to the Swamp. I was there in 2011, and it is so loud you can't even think. And for what my friends told me that went to the game, it was even more intense and loud. So, am I disappointed we didn't play better? Yes, I am. But we're young, and we're going to get better. Now, where I was disappointed was the way that their offensive line manhandled our defensive line in the third and fourth quarter. I did not expect that.
I didn't expect it either, and I wonder how much of that is the fact that they were having to play a defense against a really talented team that they're not used to playing. I mean, I'm telling you, that defense is. I mean, now that doesn't mean now if I'm Lane Kiffin, I'm going to try to incorporate some of that as well. And I've often said, if a hard-nosed running team, George, would come out into a game with either an option or even potentially a pro style and have the athletes and then be able to mix in some creative passes, that they could have success in today's college game, because these guys are used to playing in space. They're not used to downhill running. And that's what Florida was. We thought Florida was good at running the ball strictly because of who they had played, but maybe they're actually just a really good running team. We'll find out more as they move forward this week, and in the coming weeks. But here's the question, and I'm going to throw this out there, and it's called a hanging chad since we're in Florida instead of a tease. Someone told me, I didn't see this. They said Richardson may not actually have been injured. There may be something else going on. They said he was out turning backflips and roundoffs in pregame.
They showed that on TV. Mark, they showed that on TV. But, I was, while you were talking, a couple of thoughts came to mind. One, our defense was gassed. Two, I'm sure that the three and outs had something to do with it. But, I've been thinking and looking and hearing that we had a rotation of about 8 guys on the defensive line. I mean, that I remember Van Black used to say, each week you want to get better and better and better, and we have that opportunity. We coach and we got players.
You're still pulling for the best team in the country right now, so I would not worry about that. And I'm gonna tell you something about George. I'm gonna tell you something about being gassed and fatigued. When you run the ball the way Florida did, that's like the boxer who throws body blows. This RPO and this fast-paced offense is like the guy who throws jabs. He can throw jabs all night and he may beat you on points, but he's not going to knock you out. Okay? Body blows will knock you out. And if we had to play another quarter, Florida may have knocked us out to the point where we had no fight because they were body blow after body blow. Thanks, George. We have to get the break here. Man, call back anytime. Appreciate you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, coming back on the other side, we'll have the Alabama One Insurance 2-minute warning.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, we start our Monday with rain over the Tuscaloosa area, so we have limited visibility. Just slow down and be careful. No wrecks, traffic light. You see conditions, just give us a call. Townsend Nissan is taking care of business with low finance rates, extra rebates, and they really need your trade. Go see them. I'm Captain Ray.
Here's what's trending on the Tuscaloosa thread.
Hello, this is Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show, and I want to tell you about Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing. If you're looking for a way to add value to your home, make your flower beds pop, make your landscaping stand out from your neighbors, then Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing can help you do just that. They have numerous styles, but they feature the Moroccan Stone Curb Series, which includes 4 great styles and unlimited color choices. That's Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing. They are the one that can help you stand out from your neighbors. Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing, 205-331-6823. You may also find yourself with the need for a custom size stone or custom shaped stone. Then Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing can help with that as well. Paul Fuller and his team are waiting on your call right now for that free quote. And if you tell them that Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show told you to stop by, you'll get a big discount. So call Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing at 205-331-6823 or visit them online at Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing, LLC.
Don't miss a play at the Sportsbook at Pearl River Resort. Your front row seat to all the action. Place bets on all professional and most college sports at the counter, kiosk, or on your phone. Then catch the game on one of our 20 big screens from the comfort of the newly remodeled Timeout Lounge. Plus, the PRR Sports app gives you access to live, in-play sports betting. Sportsbook at Pearl River Resort. Be more than a fan. Be a player. Must be 21.
The moment you fire up a Gator UTV, the engine has your full attention. The completed job is on the horizon, and the trail meets its match. Just like that, you made short work of a long to-do list. Run with us on a John Deere Gator UTV with effortless 4-wheel drive at the flip of the switch and our smoothest shifting transmission yet. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere Gator for more.
We're planning a trip to Spain later this year.
But our Spanish
is pretty bad. So we're using Babbel.
Babbel's conversation-based method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive, bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
There's no easier way to learn another language.
Ahora hablamos español.
He just said, now we speak Spanish.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free. Just go to babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
The sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team. The Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show. Man, there's just not enough time in 1 hour to get it all in. Veronica Taylor said, this game reminded me of the Bama versus OSU championship game, up 21. The Bama versus Auburn game in T-Town, up 21, except this time the good guys came out win to win. And that's what we need to be excited about. Here's some of the notes and different things that we're going to talk about this week based on just some of the interaction in the game. The run game. Can it be better? Should it be better? How will it be better? Inexperience. CJ Lewis talking about that a lot. Virgil talking about rotation and substitution. Timing on timing to in regards to Bryce Young, his timing on the deep balls and the slant routes. That's some conversation to have. Is that a result of the fact that the receivers are just faster in the game and him being inexperienced, he has to learn to adjust? Florida scouting. Someone said maybe this was about Florida knowing exactly what Bama wanted to do and forcing us into a corner. We got manhandled up front, and we're just a young team. But, hey, by the way, you could be an Auburn fan and celebrating the fact that you only got beat by 8 by Penn State, and that the future is bright at Auburn versus being the number 1 team in the land with the victory over Florida heading in the Southern Miss. So be thankful that you pull for the Crimson Tide. We'll have good, bad, and ugly. We'll have more concerns, issues, and what you want to talk about. But it's been a great show. I want to thank all of the callers, all of the chatters and talkers and viewers. And I want to thank Joe, and I want to thank you personally for being a part of the Martin Houston Show. Roll Tide. Have a great day. And remember this, trust in the Lord always. Lean not your own understanding. All your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. Roll Tide, and we'll catch you on tomorrow.
Thank you for listening to the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.